So this video was not planned, but recently some new images have been released by Amazon for the Rings of Power, and I wanted to do a quick breakdown, mainly commenting on the costumes as I do, but visuals and imagery as well. So yeah, let's just get right into it. First, we have this poster, which features Gil Galad and Galadriel. There isn't much new happening here in terms of costumes. We've seen both of them already, and I did say I quite like Galadriel's dress. I have nothing special to add here. I do want to just make one note, because in an upcoming video that I've already recorded, I mentioned Gil Galad's costume and how I wanted to give it the benefit of the doubt in terms of how it looks in the still images. Since then, this video has been released, and yeah, photo and video, this cloak/cape just doesn't look good in terms of the fabric used and has this cheap looking fall and flow to it. Probably, well, exactly due to the fabric choices. I'm not a fan of this gold costume. The fit is not terrible, but the gold fabric used for the entire garment looks too modern and unconvincing. The cape especially has that Halloween costume feel. Again, I go over that in more detail in my upcoming video, so consider subscribing so that you don't miss that breakdown. We also have this image of Galadriel, in Numenor perhaps. We see this blue dress that I've commented on a bit in my Galadriel costume breakdown video, which you can find linked somewhere here. So you will know that I'm not a fan of this dress. It has some nice lightness to it, but the upper part of the design doesn't work that well in my opinion. I also can't figure out what the inspiration for this look was, because if it wasn't the tube tops from the 90s, the first thing that comes to my mind is a geisha dress like these ones. However, I don't know why Galadriel, an elf from Tolkien's fictional mythology about Great Britain, would be wearing an Asian-style design. But in any case, this outfit looks a bit awkward to me and not really elven. The tube top cuts the lines of the dress, makes her look visually shorter, and creates this odd design that is neither modern nor historical. I know the story is fiction, but you have to take inspiration from somewhere in history, from some existing garments. Yet this design just looks like it wasn't well thought through, and it doesn't really know what it's supposed to be doing. Next, we get Elrond and Durin. So Durin looks okay, but I do have two complaints. The first one is this gold pattern on his cape, which I think is the same or similar as in this picture. The gold foil on the fabric looks far too contemporary. And my second issue is the beard. It just seems like they sort of did his hair and then gave up when it came to the beard, so it's just hanging loose. Perhaps there's a reason for this look, but it seems a bit dull. Even if it was loose without any braids or styling, you can still make a casual style a bit neater looking. I will say this though, I like that they've given him this extra long cape to make him look visually shorter since he is a dwarf, so that's one positive I guess. Elrond's costume is something we've also seen before. I quite like the color, the design is not horrible. I guess he's going to be on the road a lot, traveling. This is what this style is telling me. I'm not so crazy about the patterns on it though. Like for most costumes, they try to add something to it by using this sort of print-on pattern, I'm guessing. But it comes across as flat since it is just printed on. Compare this to elaborate work from The Lord of the Rings or even The Hobbit. The difference in the design is just striking, and the results also. I do want to end this on a more positive note, so here's more photos of Numenor. I guess this is where most of the budget went, because it was definitely not the costumes. And I do quite like the imagery here. There seems to be some nice detail in the architecture, and overall it looks quite nice. Still, some photos like this one give me Game of Thrones vibes, but I won't go saying that this is so horrible based off this one picture, or, well, a limited number of pictures. So far, I do like most of the Numenor imagery, with the exception of costumes, of course. And with the exception of this, I have no clue what on earth this is, but I don't think it should be here. The ships also look quite interesting. I think the design is creative and looks visually appealing, though I do have one question for anyone in the audience who might know more about ships. I do wonder if the sails design makes sense from a practical sailing shipbuilding perspective. Like I said, I literally know nothing about ship design, but I know that when it comes to costumes, for example, people often add something that maybe looks cool or they think looks cool, but from the wearer's standpoint, it absolutely doesn't and it makes the garment impractical. That's why I'm asking about the ships, so if anyone knows, let me know in the comments below. Do these sails actually make sense? Would a ship sail normally and easily with them? Or are they just an aesthetic addition? Lastly, I want to comment on this statue. I get the reference to the Argonaut and the Peter Jackson's trilogy, but as far as I know, Tolkien doesn't mention any particular huge statues like this in Numenor. I'm not sure about that, so don't take my word for it, I might be wrong. But the more interesting thing I want to touch on is this. Compare these two statue designs. I would say that the stoic, serene posture of the Argonaut statues in Peter Jackson's version looks much better. The pose with the windswept hair and the cape, the motion we can perceive in it, it still looks okay, but the pose takes something away. Some people might like it, but personally I think the grounded, stoic pose is more awe-inspiring and imposing. But the beckoning hand of Amazon's statue design is a nice touch though. So that's all for this video. Thank you for joining me. Please let me know in the comments below what you think about these images, if you agree or disagree with me. Leave a like and consider subscribing. I'll see you soon.